This is the 2016 BMW X1, and it wasn't that long ago that BMW gave us the first generation X1 in the US. That was 2013. That's a pretty short production run. Actually, it existed in Europe long before that, so it's about a 6-year run. But this is a completely new X1. It's now front-wheel drive based versus the outgoing model, which was rear-wheel drive. It's actually shorter, but roomier. One of the big design changes has to do with the windshield and the overhangs. The overhangs have grown quite a bit, and the front windshield now actually extends all the way forward into the front wheel wells, giving the car a more larger appearance. The X1 competes in a segment loaded with some pretty good vehicles, including the Audi Q3, the Mercedes-Benz GLA, and the Lexus NX. One of the big changes for the X1 is that you can no longer get it in a inline six. The only engine option that we're going to get here in the US is a 2-liter twin turbo producing 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It does have class-leading 0 to 60 times with 6.3 seconds and a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Even though the X1 is not designed to replace a minivan or a large SUV, it does have class-leading cargo space, almost 60 cubic feet in the back. Now, the second row is also important. You have almost 40 inches of headroom. That's also class-leading. And what I like are the seats. It's a 40-20-40 split. What that means is if you do have to fold the seats down, you have something narrow like a pair of skis, you're only going to lose 20% of that rear seat. You're still going to lose a seat, but only 20%. Other vehicles that have a 60-40 split, you're going to lose 40%. Some vehicles in this segment have a very compromised second row, not the X1. What I like is that they have decent leg room. Also, those second row seats, they recline and slide back. I really enjoyed driving the X1, and I believe that the critics of the X1 who think they shouldn't have gone to front-wheel drive just don't understand economics today. There really are almost no rear-wheel drive cars available in the US under 30 grand. Maybe a base Charger, FRS, Miata, very few vehicles, and there are no crossovers available in that price range. So it's one or the other. You either want to pay 40 grand for one of these tiny luxury crossovers, or you're going to pay 30 grand, but you're going to have it be front-wheel drive bias. It's really not that bad because I think they really understand driving dynamics. BMW and Porsche are two of the best. And even though this is their entry-level crossover, they still understand it has to drive and handle like a BMW. And I think they did it. I haven't driven the front-wheel drive version yet because it's not out, but I've driven this one and very impressed. And I don't think that 99% of customers are going to mind that it's front-wheel drive based. When you're cruising at 60 or 70 miles an hour, you don't need the rear wheels to be working. That's how you get 32 miles per gallon on the highway, which is what the X1 gets. This is a neat little car. My first concern was the rear leg room because that's usually where these vehicles get compromised, but much to BMW's credit, there is ample room. I think they could have spent a little more money on the interior, but it's still not bad. Again, comparing it to the segment, especially the GLA, which I think has one of the cheaper interiors in the segment. Our vehicle was equipped with a relatively small 6-inch infotainment screen. There is an optional 8-inch screen available, and you really want to get that one if if that's important to you. It's an option you can get. However, we do have head-up display, which is kind of ironic in a vehicle of this price point, but it works. It's a full color head-up display and definitely a nice feature. This X1 looks like it belongs in the BMW crossover family, unlike the first generation X1 that we received, which was kind of an ugly duckling. So this vehicle does share the same platform with the new Mini vehicles. Again, all the Minis are front-wheel drive, and so you can start to understand the economies of scale. That's just a reality. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you, because every vehicle I mentioned in this competitive set is all front-wheel drive based. But paddle shifters are optional on the X1. Our vehicle is not equipped with the paddle shifter, just like it's not equipped with the large navigation screen. but it still works. It's a nice compact form factor, give you a nice little cubby to be in, but it doesn't suffocate you. We didn't quite achieve 32 miles per gallon, but we drove a little bit harder than normal. Wanted to really test out the dynamics, and it definitely works. Now this transmission, even though it's a typical 8-speed Steptronic, it kind of acts like a dual clutch, almost like a dry twin clutch transmission. Just has these little shift delays. I think that has something to do with the front wheel drive, at least that's what BMW told us. With a starting price of $32,500, the X1 is right in there with the segment. I like the driving dynamics. I've heard complaints that the front wheel drive bias has kind of ruined this car. I don't agree. The structure is solid, and you can get power to the rear wheels as much as you need it. Probably come in right at $30,000. I'm Ron Dorn for The Driver's Seat. Thanks for watching.